Hello there, my name is Cara Mason and I help women to overcome vaginismus. I'm making this short video to explain exactly what vaginismus is and what the symptoms of it are. So I receive lots of inquiries from women wondering if what they're experiencing is indeed vaginismus. So vaginismus itself is just simply the tensing of the vaginal muscles, which makes sex either difficult, painful, or completely impossible. And it can vary considerably in its intensity in terms of there are many women that I work with who have never tried to insert anything in their vagina. Just because of that expectation of failure or the expectation of pain. So because they end up feeling so helpless and so afraid, they completely avoid doing anything about it. It's not that they don't want to have sex, it's not that they don't love their partner, but such is the anxiety that they create around the condition. The other end of the extreme is women who actually are able to have sex but just find it painful, and that pain can be really quite intense, often described as a searing, burning sensation. The pain that is experienced though is not because in a normal vagina, it's not because the vaginal walls are being stretched, but it's because of the muscles in the vagina. So surrounding the first 3 centimeters of the vaginal entrance, there is some muscle there. And if that muscle is squeezed tight because of that expectation of pain, then it's going to be very difficult or even impossible to insert anything inside. And so what women often describe as that feeling of hitting a brick wall, that's the cause of it. So after experiencing that pain, it makes sense as to why the woman then becomes nervous about trying again. There is an increase in the anticipation of pain, anticipation of failure, so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you expect it to happen, increases the likelihood that it will happen, which is why vaginismus can spiral in intensity actually quite quickly. And then also what can happen is women become so disillusioned, they can't get to the point where they can't imagine that sex is ever going to happen, and certainly it's not going to be an enjoyable experience, so they just stop trying less and less, which of course causes problems in the relationship as well, or can do. Now, I know from the women that I work with that it's an incredibly distressing symptom to have, incredibly frustrating, and it can seem like no other symptom out there, particularly if you can't understand it and you can't understand the thinking and the physical response behind it. So I would compare vaginismus to being like other physical symptoms in that it's caused by psychological and emotional factors, but it manifests itself in a very physical way. So by default, your vagina is perfectly able to have sex, but it's only certain thoughts, certain beliefs and fears that are interfering with that natural process. Now, I would compare this to something like insomnia, whereby by default our body wants to sleep. Sleeping is a very natural process. However, if somebody is worried about not being able to sleep, if they're feeling quite anxious, those unhelpful thoughts will interfere with that natural process of sleeping and interfere with that. Or another example might be even stuttering. You know, in a situation where somebody feels on the spot and they feel anxious, they become very self-aware, they probably worry about stuttering, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So those psychological worries become a reality. Now, I do very highly recommend that if there's any doubt in your mind about whether your symptom is vaginismus or something else, sometimes you can get vaginal pain from things like thrush, do go and see a doctor. Go and see a doctor, go and see a gynecologist if at all possible. And I do understand that when you have vaginismus, it's not the easiest thing to do. You can feel ashamed, you can feel embarrassed, but it would really help you to narrow down which treatment route to take. So I do hope that this video has been helpful in some way to you. Thanks very much for watching.